Hello, 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 Christmas Flickshers. Welcome back to season 6 of Chicks on Christmas Flicks, where we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. Hey, everybody, I'm KL Brady. You know what time it is. Hey, it is time for Christmas in July. Let me tell you, woo, man, I have been working myself to the bone. Working at, the 9 to 5. I'm playing catch up on a bunch of stuff. And also, because I was out last weekend, cleaning out my grandmother's house. And that went well, by the way. I mean, we got a lot done. Let me tell you, my grandmother is a ladybug. I don't know if you guys watch the Clutterbug podcast on YouTube, but it's funny. She classifies organizing styles, right? And so you could be a ladybug, which is somebody who, like me, I am a ladybug. Like you come into my house a year ago, right? Before I started my decluttering. I had decluttered so much. So a year ago coming into my house, you would come in and you'd be like, oh my gosh, Carla has the cleanest house. It is just neat to die for, right? But then if you opened up a closet door, like the whole world would fall on you because I had everything stuffed away in closets and every nook and cranny of my house. I didn't want to see it. And it wasn't until I got to the point where I didn't have any more room in the closets, things would just start spilling out. And then my room looked cluttered, and at that point I felt like I had too much stuff, right? So at that point I decluttered. Well, my grandmother, now they've probably been in their house since probably the 40s or early 50s. I would say 40s. My grandmother's a ladybug. You walk in her house and you think, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. She really kept a very neat and clean house. But every nook and cranny of that house was stashed. I mean, it had stuff stashed in it. And I mean, not trash, but like really nice stuff. Like crystal, like silver, and all of this stuff, right? So what we ended up doing, we got a lot donated to Salvation Army. We didn't give away the crystal and stuff. We kept the girls that were there took care of the crystal. It's either with me or it's with my cousins. Because we didn't want to see it given away or outside the family. And we had some cousins that weren't there, and so my hope is that they'll take over some of that stuff too. But so between the four or five of us, I guess, that were there, we were able to keep a lot of stuff. But let me just tell you, I know we threw away 30 bags of stuff. Threw away trash. That's not what we donated. We probably donated, I want to say maybe 30-40 boxes of stuff. We threw away at least probably more after I left, right? But by the time I left, I know there were maybe 40 garbage bags of stuff outside waiting for the junk people to come take it up. I mean, it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of work. That was 3 days we went down there, and it's a miracle what we were able to do in the time period that we were able to do it. I honestly can't wait to see the house once they've put in the new flooring and they've put in the new walls. They're going to put in drywall in some of the areas. She had knotty pine in most of the house, so the interior of the house, there's like a lot of knotty pine, but there are some spaces where they had to take out the wall, and so they're going to replace the wall with drywall and not knotty pine. But it's going to be beautiful. And then we picked out a paint color. Well, we all had like multiple recommendations for paint colors, but So we picked out paint color, we picked out floor colors and all this kind of stuff. It's really going to be lighter and brighter, much lighter and much brighter in that house. And there's a lot of windows in the house, but because of the way the house is situated in the woods with the trees all around and stuff, there's really not a lot of like natural light that comes into the house. So so with the lighter paint color, with the lighter flooring, we got luxury vinyl flooring. I think it's going to look a lot lighter and brighter in the house. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like when it's all done. But anyway, so I did that. Then I drove back to Washington to my house. And when I got back here, I had to put my desk together so that I can, let me tell you, over the past, what I would say 3 to 4 weeks, I have done so many house projects, and not one project has gone well. I mean, when I tell you nothing, if there was a snag to hit, I hit it. So my desk, which I didn't think was going to take me that long to do it, so I probably started putting it together at maybe 8:30, thinking that I would be done maybe by 10:30. Nah, 12:30. So I went to my grandmother's house. We worked from 8 to 12 o'clock. I got on the road. I drove 6 hours, came home, got settled and everything, and then put my desk in my office together. And then I went to bed, and then I got up and went to work and worked the full week, of course. And then I had to deal with the craziness at work. And so then, listen, this is crazy. So then I decided, okay, I haven't suffered enough. let me finish up my office this week. So my plan was I got this molding. I don't know if you guys watch this vlog on YouTube called This Crazy Life, but This Crazy Life has become one of my favorite YouTube channels that I watch. Lots of house cleaning. The host of the show, her name is Amanda, and she gives the best advice about cleaning and all of this kind of stuff. And since I've done all that decluttering, now I'm in the cleaning mode. And it's so funny because I just rush. I feel myself rushing through my life. I don't know about you guys, but I feel myself, I wake up, I rush. I'm just rushing through. I rush to clean. I hurry up and clean. I feel like I've just got to rush through everything. And you know what? Amanda, I watch like multiple slow living vlogs out there, and everybody's like, slow down. And I mean, it's time to slow down. I would like to slow down, but I still have all these projects. At least as of Friday, I had all these projects to do. So I said, I'm going to get them done this weekend. So yesterday and today, I said I'll get them done. And today, tomorrow, I figured I'd rest. So anyway, This Crazy Life, she does this project, and I'm like, I've got to do that. I want that because I don't know what to do with my walls. I have this big empty wall in my office, and I said, well, let me do this peel and stick molding, right? And basically it puts the boxes on your wall if you do the peel and stick molding. Let me tell you guys. All right, so I ordered the peel and stick molding only to find that it was in fact not peel and stick. You had to use like liquid nails. You had to use like liquid nails in order to adhesive, like some kind of construction adhesive. Now, I had bought liquid nails, but I bought liquid nails for a completely different project, one in my kitchen where I had to put this edging on the backsplash, right? So I only had a small tube because I thought that's all I'm going to need. Guys, let me tell you something. I tried to put these things up. Tried to put the molding up with with the liquid nails. and it was just sliding down the wall. It was so, it's so horrible. I was like, I am going. So then I would take it off and put more adhesive on it, and it would just slide down the wall. I was like, oh my gosh. Now, these are freshly painted walls. These are freshly painted walls from when I just painted my office because I gave myself my new space. I told you guys all about the office. So anyway, I bought a brad nailer. I bought a brad nailer several weeks ago, but I didn't have the battery for the brad nailer, so I just left it upstairs, and I ended up not using the brad nailer for the project. But I was like, well, I gotta have the brad nailer now because how else am I gonna get this molding to stay up on the wall? So I ordered the battery yesterday from Home Depot, and I ordered an extra battery, and then you got a free tool with it, and then I got this Orbit sander to go with it, which I also need because I've got to somehow get the liquid nails off my walls from where the molding was sliding down. So I got the brad nailer, and I got the molding up so fast with the brad. I don't know why they should tell you to use a brad nailer in the first place. So I got the brad nailer up, I got the molding up. I filled in the holes and the gaps with the caulk. So now the caulk is drying, and then tomorrow I'll paint. But I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. I'm telling you all this to say that is the reason why I was supposed to do this show yesterday. I was supposed to do it this morning, like early this morning. And I was like, if I don't keep going with this office, if I don't get it done, then I'm not going to have it done. And so finally, I got the molding up, I vacuumed, I cleaned, I dusted, I threw away all the trash from moving my old office to my new office. By the way, I thought I had decluttered my office. My office was not decluttered. It was so ladybugged. Everything was stashed away, hidden behind. Like I had cabinets and little drawers and all this stuff. And I just pulled out. I don't even know. Like, it was insane the amount of stuff that I still had after I thought I decluttered. So even when you think you decluttered, sometimes you haven't decluttered. I'm telling you, my decluttering journey is worth like an hour of talking about it, like realistically talking about the journey of decluttering and trying to get reorganized and then trying to get clean. Now, I can tell you which vlogs to look at for advice on how to go about these things and then how to maintain good cleaning routines afterwards. But let me tell you, getting there is the hard part. It really is. And so, but I feel like I'm finally there. I cleaned out all the junk today. I got the stuff up on the walls. I'm going to paint tomorrow, and that is going to be it. I am going to be done. Now, let me just tell you this. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, because some of the things that I put liquid nails in before I got the brad nailer, some of those things I left, and when I came back in the morning, they slid a little bit. So they're a little diagonal in some places. I had to course correct. It's insane. Honestly, this is the most insane thing I've ever done. I will never do this again. I will hire somebody to do this stuff. I will never do it again. So, for watching Amanda, you're not like him. Here's what I'm learning. I'm not Amanda. I will never be Amanda. Amanda is amazing. All of the little DIYs and things that she does, amazing. That is not me. And it is okay. It is okay to realize that you're not the DIY queen you think you are, and that you have to hire people where other people can do DIYs. I watch so many DIYs and I want to be that person. I am not that person. I try to level things get out of level. I try to do things straight. I got one of those laser levels, and still the stuff is crooked. I don't know. I quit. I am never doing another home. I am done with home projects. My last one will be tomorrow when I paint. God willing, that will go well, and I'm done. I'm not doing anymore. From now on and forever, I will be hiring people to do my stuff. I am not. No more. Anyway, enough about that. What we really came to talk about was Christmas in July. And I mean, it is in full effect today. I have had it on all morning long. All afternoon. I have been, in between my fits of insanity of trying to get this office together, I have been watching my shows. So we're going to talk about all the shows that are coming on this weekend, all the shows that are going to be coming on this coming week, and next Friday I will publish another episode with the following week. And there's so much coming up that following week. It's crazy. But we got to get through this week first. So in the last episode, I talked about Merry Movie Week. I was late. I am sorry. I apologize for being late. I'm going to try and get myself on time. I'm done. The projects are finished. I'm not doing any more house projects. The only thing I'm going to do is set up my deck, and that is it. And that's not a project. That is just really unpacking cushions and stuff. That's because we've had so much rain. It's crazy. But anyway, that's it. So I am getting on my schedule. I am doing my show on time. I am getting my writing done. It's all, I'm going to do all the things now. I am done. I'm done with projects. All right. So anyway, Merry Movie Week was last week, and I apologize. I was late with that. Christmas in July this week, today, last night, and today we got started, and it is going to go on for a full month. I will tell you guys about the schedule coming up. Fun stuff. And can you believe? Can we just stop for a minute just to say, it's July? Like, sometimes you watch the news and you feel like the year isn't going fast enough. And other times you're watching Christmas in July and you're like, man, this year is really going fast. I don't know where I really fall permanently on those things, but time in some areas of my life seem to be dragging along, and in other areas it seems to be flying. And then when it comes to the Christmas movies and my Hallmark programming, it seems to be flying. And so that's where we are. So anyway, I'm very excited to talk to you guys today. There's a load of movies that you just gotta watch between tomorrow and this week, and then we're gonna talk all about what's coming up. But first things first, St. Nick shout outs. As always, this is my favorite part of the show. It will forever and always be my favorite part of the show. Why? Why do I say that? I say that because I would not enjoy this show. Now, I could say I'll do the show, right? But I would not enjoy it nearly as much as I do without you guys out there supporting the show and listening to the show and downloading the show while you do your laundry and stuff. I've gotten to the point where I actually listen to podcasts while I clean, while I do my dishes, stuff like that. So I hope that's what you're doing for this podcast. I hope that you are listening to it while you wash your clothes, or being super productive, or doing wonderful things. Like, what do you do while you listen? Like, let me know. in Twitter. Like, what are you doing when you're listening to this podcast? I would love to know that. I would really love to know that. I know what I do. Most of the time, I can't work and I can't write while listening to a podcast. For sure, those two things. But I can definitely listen while I'm like getting work done around the house or while I'm cleaning, for sure. And fortunately, I've gotten into a routine where I do a lot of cleaning now. So, daily I do cleaning. So I'm listening to things daily. Anyway, thank you. Thank you all for joining and listening to the show. Today I'm going to give you the short version of the St. Nick shoutouts. We're not officially in July yet. Next week, I will try to find some Christmas in July activities to call out with the St. Nick shoutouts. But this week, we're just going to do some short St. Nick shoutouts. I don't know who you are, but I know where you live. All right. So, number one in the St. Nick shoutouts is London, England. London, England. Thank you so much for joining and listening to the show. You were the number one rated listener in the podcast over the past week. So, number one, yes, London, England. Number two, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to Phoenix. That is actually the home of the podcast that I listen to. So that's, the show that I watch on YouTube. They live in Phoenix, Arizona right now. So that's exciting. But anyway, so Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to Phoenix, Arizona. So listen, if you're listening and you're in Phoenix, check out This Crazy Life. Shoot, Amanda lives in Phoenix. Or you might already know about her. But I'm just really getting into YouTube this year, honestly. This year, maybe since last year, I started watching Clutterbug, and so maybe last year, but I specifically went on YouTube to watch Clutterbug, and only Clutterbug, like I didn't watch anything else. This year is where I've really been entertained with all the influencers and stuff, like understanding the influencer culture and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, if you live in Phoenix, check out This Crazy Life. She's like everywhere, right? She's on Instagram, she's on YouTube, she's on Threads. I don't go on Twitter too much, except for, for the show. But I don't really go looking out for other accounts. I go to post. I really don't go to listen to look out for other accounts. So anyway, but she's probably on Twitter, I would imagine, if she's on everything else. So check out This Crazy Life. It's really become one of my favorite blogs. She has such a good spirit. All right. Number 3, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I've actually been there. I've been to the where they had the reenactment of the of the war between North and South. Yeah, I was there. Crestview, Florida. Number 4, Crestview, Florida. And then number 5 is Melbourne, Victoria, Melbourne, which is in Australia. And I don't know if I've said it lately. I know I've definitely said it, but I have like a 4th cousin in Australia, which I cannot believe. So I have somebody that I am related to in Australia. Like, I have people I'm related to like all over the place, but I'm like, Australia? Are you kidding? This is from my ancestry results. So, it's real. I have family all over the place. I just never knew. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining the show. We're going to get into now ho 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 holiday headlines. All right. So, for the ho 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 holiday headlines, my first piece of news is around Prime Video. check this out, because I watch Prime Video a lot, right? I watch The Chosen on Prime Video and other things, but really The Chosen. Prime Video is offering a new package just in time for Christmas in July. Now, I've not seen this. I actually have subscribed to Hallmark Plus directly through Hallmark Plus. I don't get it through Prime. But with Prime, if you go into Prime, you can subscribe to like all the other channels. So like you can get your Discovery Plus there, your Paramount Plus, your Peacock, your BET, your every streamer you can imagine allows you to subscribe directly through Prime. And it just makes it easier. Like, it's kind of a one-stop shop, right? You just kind of go there. I don't do that, though. I go to everybody independently. And then I have the apps on my TV. So then I can just, sign in directly to the apps. Why do I do that? I don't know why. I guess I just don't want everything through Prime, right? I just don't want everything through Amazon. I don't know. That's the whole reason. Like, I don't want them to have that much control. Like, if something happens to Prime, then what happens to all my other apps, right? So anyway, I just don't do it that way. But you can. And if you go to Amazon Prime and you subscribe to Hallmark Plus and Stars, you get a 26% discount. And you will get that discount just in time for Christmas in July. So you can watch all the Christmas movies in July. So that's exciting news. And then here's another one. This appealed to me, one, because I love BBC. I don't know. Like, I've watched BBC Channel for a long time. I used to watch BBC News a lot. But I just quit watching the news altogether because it's just kind of depressing. But it really is. And I mean, it's not even just this year. Like, I haven't watched the news for years. Not regularly. What I will do is, if I hear the news or my dad tells me the news, because my dad's a news junkie. He just watches the news all freaking day long. I cannot. I absolutely cannot. I cannot function watching that much news. So when, he'll talk to me about something, my son might talk to me about something, I may get an alert about something, something may come in my email or whatever, and then I will go to the internet and I will seek out that particular news item. I don't stay on top of the news like I used to. And it's been years since I watched the news. I just don't. But anyway, BBC has a new Christmas movie called Stuffed coming out. And I don't know about you, I've been watching Christmas movies for years. I have not seen BBC come out with something like a rom-com, right? So, well, no, this isn't really a rom-com. It's more like a family comedy. But I'm like, BBC? Really? Christmas? I mean, let me tell you, this should tell you, Christmas movies are making their way everywhere. Just saying. They're taking over. And I believe, now, I have to say, on my Samsung TV, there is a channel called Gravitas. And Gravitas, before Christmas in July, I know for the last couple of months, they've been playing Christmas movies like crazy. Now, I don't know if it's a 24/7 Christmas movie all year round channel. I have to look it up. It just happens to come on when I turn my TV on. But I've seen nothing but Christmas movies on there. I say this to say, I feel like the next step is a all Christmas movie channel, right? That needs to happen. As a matter of fact, Hallmark sent me out this questionnaire or something. I don't know. It was a Hallmark Heart something. I don't know. It's some kind of panel where you can kind of, express your opinion about shows or, Hallmark Plus or Hallmark or whatever. And one thing I recommended was that they come up with a 24/7, 365 Christmas movie channel. It's time. They've got the material. They could do this. I would turn that channel on and I would not turn it off except to watch football. Like, it would be football. No, it'd be football, HGTV, and Christmas movies. That's it. That's all I would watch. I'd watch it all day. Anyway, back to this BBC. So I know I totally got. Listen, I'm scattered today because I just spit down. I've been sniffing. I've been I've been sniffing. What do you call that? Caulk all the. I've been sniffing caulk all day, just trying to caulk the things so they don't look so crazy. So you guys will have to just forgive me, please. I know I'm kind of goofy today, but it's been wild. Honestly, if you saw me putting that trim up, the molding up on my wall, you would have, that's a video that would have had y'all dying laughing. You'd have been like, man, that's too real. Like, we like to watch where things actually happen the way they're supposed to. Like, if I showed it, I would have had to cut like, I would have had to cut like 3 hours out of the 4 hours because it just went so badly. I can't even tell you guys how badly it went. Anyway, so Stuffed is a festive comedy adventure on BBC One with comedian Gus Khan heading to Latland. He plays Arslan Faruqi, who takes his multi-faith family, so you know this is going to be a mess already, to the home of Santa when he unexpectedly receives an 8,000 pound bonus from work. 8,000 pounds. So they did put it in pounds, they didn't put it in dollars. But when he discovers that the money was paid to him by accident, he must return it immediately. He is left praying for a Christmas miracle that'll save his job and the family's livelihood. That's crazy. Let me tell you something. When I get bonuses from my job, if they want it back, they better hurry up. Because I do not that money does not get hot with me. It does not last that long. I have things to do. I have bills to pay. Usually that money is spent by the time it hits my bank account. Or at least a good portion of it is spent. Now I try to save from it all the time because, you just never know what kind of emergencies you're going to have. So I try to save, but let me tell you, if that happened to me, I would be in big trouble because that money would be spent, and it would probably be spent on bills where I couldn't get the money back, right? Because if you owe money and you're paying off bills or whatever, it's not like you can go back to the people and be like, hey, you know that money that I paid you guys, I'm gonna have to ask for that back. So pay it back to my job because no. So they better know that money is gone. That money, when you give it to me, it's gone. It's gone for good purpose. Like, now, one thing about it, I have used every penny I've gotten for these house projects and pay off bills and stuff like that. Like, you will not see me walking around with the $5,000 purse. Like, that's just not happening. Or you will not see me, I don't have 10,000 pairs of shoes. I'm not that person. But what you will see me do is spend the money in the house for house projects or for bills. I'll do that. So, I'm boring. I'm boring that way. Anyway, this next one, this next piece of news was something I was pretty excited to hear. So Hallmark is coming out with a new reality series, and I think because Finding Mr. Christmas was so successful, they decided to try again, but this time with something they know the Hallmark audience loves, which is baking. So, a new competition series hosted by Tamara Mowry Housley is coming is coming to Hallmark called Baked with Love Holiday. It is supposed to premiere somewhere around the holiday season, right? I'm not sure when. My guess would be the first holiday that we will do a lot of cooking is Thanksgiving, right? So I would expect that Thanksgiving or somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas that we would see this show premiere. So I'm excited to see this. I'm very happy about this one. All right. So then check this news out. So there's another Christmas movie coming out, but this one is going to theaters, but it will feature stars from Lifetime and Hallmark. What am I talking about? This movie, it's called The Christmas Ring. Country singer and actress Jana Kramer, who has done umpteen movies for Lifetime, and I have watched them all, I really like her, will co-star in The Christmas Ring, a film based on the book of the same name by #1 New York Times bestselling author and filmmaker Karen Kingsbury. Now, you guys know Karen Kingsbury. I thought for sure she had like a multi-picture deal with Hallmark, because just about everything she's done, all the books that have been turned to movies, to me, I've not seen them on other channels, right? Especially the Christmas ones. I've only seen them on the Hallmark channels. So movies like The Bridge, right? The Bridge 2 and Maggie's Christmas Miracle. And there's been several other ones that are non-Christmas books that Karen Kingsbury has sold the rights to Hallmark so that they could do a movie. So the fact that this is going to theaters that's major news, right? That's like major news, and that it's not going to Hallmark is also major news. But anyway. So The Christmas Ring is going to theaters this holiday season via Fathom Entertainment, which also stars, listen for this, Christopher Palaha. Christopher Palaha, you know that's my man, right? So he's his wife's husband first, but he's like my imaginary husband, right? I have a list of them, right? I've got like 5 imaginary husbands. He's one of them. Robert Downey Jr. is another one. The list goes on, right? I could just list them out. I count him among them. And he's in good company, though. He's in really good company. So anyway, The Christmas Ring tells the story of Gold Star widow Jana Kramer, who, while looking for her missing family Christmas ring, meets a charming antiques dealer, Christopher Palaha, whose father might unwittingly have lost the heirloom. The story spans from the French countryside of World War II to the current military town, Columbus, Georgia. A theme of appreciation for U.S. military runs through the story. That's very exciting. Okay. So then, this next piece of news is also kind of exciting, especially for baseball fans. So there is going to be a Christmas in July where Hallmark teams with Fenway Park. Now, let me tell you, I learned all I know about Fenway Park from watching the movie and rom-com Fever Pitch. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It starred Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon. And it was one of my favorite rom-coms. Every time I have it, I own it. And every time it comes on TV, I watch it. He is... I've heard Jimmy talk to it, and Jimmy and Drew are really good friends. And I've heard him like kind of brush the movie off, but I loved it, and I loved him in it. So there. Just saying. If anybody hated it, I don't care. I'm not one of them who hated it. Anyway, so it was definitely one of my favorites. Anyway, Taylor Cole, listen, announced this partnership with the Hallmark partnership with Fenway Park on her Instagram. So, listen, this comes straight from Taylor Cole's Instagram. Light the camera, play ball. Hallmark Channel is decking the halls of Fenway Park this July 1st, which comes up, what is this, Tuesday? Monday, I think it's Tuesday, right? Decking the halls of Fenway Park for July 1st for a holly jolly day with the Red Sox. We're bringing Christmas in July straight to the ballpark, complete with festive giveaways, snowy photo ops, and a few familiar Hallmark faces to help cheer on the Sox as they take on Cincinnati. Gina Claire will be singing the national anthem with her wicked pipes. Wes Brown is throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. Wes Brown, we love him. And then Andrew Walker, Benjamin Ayers, and Nikki DeLoach and Taylor are gonna all be there. So if you're a Red Sox fan and you're gonna be in Fenway Park, just know July 1st, Hallmark's gonna be there to celebrate Christmas in July with you. So that is all I have today for Ho 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 holiday headlines. Today is all about Christmas in July and what we're watching in week 1. So this weekend, so listen, here's the schedule, right? This weekend is going to be 24/7 Christmas movies, almost. I say almost because there's going to be like 3 hours, 6 hours, 3 movies, right? Where they're going to show like summer movies. But apart from those summer movies, they're going to be showing Christmas movies. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then during the week, Mondays through Fridays, the movies will run from 8 a.m. to midnight. Okay? 8 a.m. to midnight. Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, 24/7 movies. So I can deal with that. You know, I remember the time when Christmas in July used to be really Christmas in July, where they showed movies 24/7 Christmas movies, and made me very happy. But there's a lot of people who whine and are upset. Like one of my close friends, she likes the Golden Girls. And I mean, she gets mad when the Hallmark Channel does not have the Golden Girls on. So I can kind of understand the schedule, but I personally would prefer to have 24/7 Christmas movies, or if you just have a 24/7 365 Christmas movie channel, then I would never complain. Because Christmas in July, I would just be watching Christmas movies over there on the channel, and I wouldn't need you to change your programming. Just saying. And make your life easier, make my life easier, make all of our lives easier. Something to consider. All right. So anyway, today I am locked in all day. I had planned to be in my office writing, but of course my my decorating projects went completely awry, and so I'm watching the movies, but I'm also I also had to do a lot of work. But this evening, it's all Christmas movies all the time. After I finish doing this podcast, I'm gonna get in bed and I'm gonna do nothing but sit down and chill and watch Christmas movies for the rest of the evening. So listen, here was the schedule, and I'll tell you what I watched. A Shoe Addict's Christmas, I watched that all the way through. Snow Bride with Katrina Law, I love that. Watched that all the way through. One Royal Holiday, that was at the point at which some of my molding was sliding down the wall, and so I did not get to watch all of that all the way through, but I did kind of hear it. Crown for Christmas, I probably got to watch about half of it. Christmas by Starlight, still on my DVR, and I probably got to watch about half of it. Now, Jingle Bell Run is on, And, apart from doing the show, after I do the show, I'm going to finish watching it. So I will probably miss a good half of it. At 8 p.m., there's a switch up, okay? And they have the new movie coming out, which is the summer movie with Rihanna and Fish, a Machu Picchu proposal. Let me tell you how long I have been waiting to say Machu Picchu. I've never had to say that before. Has anybody ever had to say Machu Picchu? It's like a wonderful thing to say. I love it. Machu Picchu. Okay. A Machu Picchu proposal. Again, not a Christmas movie, but one of my favorite stars, Rihanna Fish. She's been doing Christmas movies. I think the last couple of years she's been doing them with Great American Family. I've not seen those movies, but I have seen them on like the IMDb where they've gotten pretty good ratings. So if anybody wants to check out her movies on Great American Family, you can go ahead and look that up. So Barcelona Forever is following up on Machu Picchu. So, they've really put this hole in the middle of the Christmas. I'm not particularly thrilled about that, but it happens. Okay, so, and I actually love to Barcelona Forever. I watched that whole series with Allison Sweeney and Ashley Williams. Like, I love the movies. I love them together in the movies. And guess what? Allison Sweeney tweeted me during the first movie. So I am definitely a fan now. I'm just saying. She tweeted me. I felt special. She tweeted a lot of people though. Okay. But she tweeted me. So I was really excited about that. Anyway, so from 8 to 12, we've got the two summer movies, right? We've got a Machu Picchu Proposal and we've got To Barcelona Forever. And then at midnight, we're back to Christmas movies with Cross Country Christmas with Rachel Lee Cook. I love her. A Christmas Melody at 2 with Lacey Chabert and the diva herself, Mariah Carey. And then a Christmas Waltz. I always say a Christmas Waltz, but the title is really Christmas Waltz. That's Lacey Chabert again and Will Kemp. I love this movie. I have to tell you, I didn't start out loving that movie. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And then after watching it a couple of times, now I love it. And I think the reason why I didn't fall in love with it the first time I saw it is because I was distracted. Sometimes I'm distracted and I take it out on them when it's not really the movie's fault. It's my fault for being distracted. And I take my rating out on the movie. But then when I actually have time to sit down and watch it, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, this is really good. Christmas Waltz falls into that category. Really good. So if you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, watch Christmas Waltz. After that, A Heavenly Christmas. That's what I would consider a classic. Like, that falls in my classic category. A Heavenly Christmas with Kristen Davis. Now, if you remember Kristen Davis, she was from Sex and the City. You remember that? She played one of the friends of Sex and the City. And then Shirley MacLaine. Which Shirley MacLaine, like, if you don't, you have to be under a rock to not know who Shirley MacLaine is. Okay. Then, after when A Heavenly Christmas comes, One Christmas Eve with, now that stars Anne Heche. I loved Anne Heche. May she rest in peace. I really loved her and her work. I really loved them. Honestly, I have to tell you, I don't know about you guys, but it's been harder than I actually thought it would be to start watching her movies again. I'm a little more touched by deaths in these recent days than I thought. I struggled when Doris Roberts passed away too. I really struggled to get back to watching Mrs. Miracle movies. Now I own both of them now because they were sold off of Hallmark sold the rights to them, I guess, or something. So they've been picked up by another network. So I bought them so that I would always have them, because you just never know where they're going to land, right? Anyway, so One Christmas Eve comes on. Now that's a really, really good movie. Good comedy, good drama, good family movie. There's even a pet dog, and it's an adorable dog. So if you haven't seen One Christmas Eve, that is definitely one to check out. It is definitely one of those heartfelt movies. After One Christmas Eve, we've got Checking It Twice with Kevin McGarry and then Kim Matula. And, I started to love Kim Matula from Ghosts of Christmas Always. Ghosts of Christmas Always. I love that movie. And so then I fell in love with her for that one. And then her second movie on the Hallmark, as far as I know, right, is Checking It Twice with Kevin McGarry. And I like that one, but I did compare it to Ghost of Christmas Always, which I absolutely loved, right? Anyway, so then after Checking It Twice, which I will watch, I'm going to be pretty much logged in all weekend. Three Wise Men and a Baby at 2 p.m. That is one to watch. I'm sorry. Every time I watch that movie, I crack up laughing. Every single time. And speaking of cracking up laughing, the movie that comes on after that, 4 o'clock, is Haul Out the Holly. Funny, funny, funny. Lacey Chabert and Wes Brown, love it. And you guys know that they're coming out with a part 3. Like, quote unquote. Like I've heard... It's not like come out official. I'll be interested to see what happens next weekend when they show like a clip of they kind of show a sneak peek of Countdown to Christmas, and I hope that shows in there. I can't wait to see that sneak peek. By the way, I will be watching. At 6 p.m., Machu Picchu Proposal is a replay. At 6 p.m., they would normally replay it, and then they would play the 8 o'clock movie. Well, a Machu Picchu Proposal is going to be a 6. And then at 8 p.m., one of my absolute favorite Christmas classics is Christmas Getaway with Bridget Regan. I love this movie. Christmas Getaway. I want to say it's on my DVR. If it's not, it's sure going to be after this because I love that movie. I watch it every time I see it. So that is the 8 o'clock movie. The 10 o'clock movie is A Cozy Christmas Inn. A Cozy Christmas Inn. And that is the last Christmas movie of the weekend. A Cozy Christmas Inn. Jodie Sweetin played in that one. So at 2 a.m., you get the regular programming. And this is the Golden Girls, Frasier, Cheers, Reba, all of that, until 8 a.m. the next morning when the Golden Girls would come back on. Well, you're not going to have the Golden Girls Sunday night. So at 8 a.m. Monday morning, we get Heidelberg Holiday. I have to work. I'll be at work. So some of these early movies I probably won't catch because the morning is when we usually have our meetings, right? They usually suck up your meetings. Thank God, you're caffeinated in the first half of the day, and it kind of wears off in the later part of the day. So you get your meetings in the early part of the day because everybody's on caffeine. So Heidelberg Holiday, Gingerbread Miracle comes on after that. Barrett Patterson's in that one. Sensibility and Snowmen. No. Sorry. Back up. At noon, A Biltmore Christmas comes on. Now, even if I have something to do, I am going to try and at least put that on my other screen. If I'm sitting at my computer, and as long as I don't have to sit in on a meeting or something, if I'm doing research or whatever, I will have A Biltmore Christmas, because I am not going to miss anything with Bethany Joy Lynn. Sorry, not going to do it. And then, so at 2 is Sensibility and Snowman, which I am also not going to miss because I love Aaron Krakow. So, love it. And then, A 90s Christmas comes on at 4 p.m. Now, 90s Christmas was on my top 15 favorite list from earlier this year. Now, if you haven't checked out that episode, you have got to check it out. You've got to see my top 15 list because so many of my top 15 lists come on this week. And in particular, Monday. So, Sugar Plum at 6 p.m. Comes on at 6 p.m. And that was on I think that was like number 15 on my top 15 list. That was Janelle Parrish and Maggie Lawson. And then at 8 p.m., we have Coyote Creek Christmas with Janelle Parrish. And then we have Rocky Mountain Christmas with Christopher Palaha and Lindsay Booth. How about that? All right. Now we're going to take a quick break, but I'll be back in a minute to talk about the rest of the week for Christmas in July. That'll be Tuesday through Friday, coming up in just a few minutes. It's Christmas in July, and what better way to spend it than reading a holiday story that begins in July and takes us all the way through the big day? As Nikki approaches her 50th birthday, Christmas in July, a sudden revelation sparked by more than just summer heat sends her life into a tailspin. The achievements she once prided herself on, a home, a car, now feel hollow. Her vision board, once a hopeful map for the future, now seems like wasted effort. Her job is no longer fulfilling. Nikki's got it bad. To top it off, her boyfriend Smith proposes, but she's not even sure about him. What should be a celebratory milestone becomes a plunge into despair and a brush with her guardian angel, Jesus, and some sweet potato pie. You've got to read the book to find out the details. I'm just saying. Her guardian angel delivers an ultimatum. Find her second act by Christmas Eve. Failure means she'll spend the rest of her life with dark days. I mean, who wants to live the rest of their life in dark days? With fear of eternal hot flashes threatening her days and nights, she takes on the challenge. Embarking on her second act leads Nikki into the gravitational pull of Evan Goodman, the hot doctor who makes her feel content, and Jordan Devlin, her first love who ignites passion or a dangerous spark. I mean, in the game of love, who can tell the difference? Caught between the safety of contentment and, well, fire, Nikki must make heart-wrenching choices. Time ticks away as she navigates the path from Christmas in July to Christmas Eve, desperately seeking her true calling, chasing her dreams, and discovering which romantic interest will help her bloom into the best version of herself. The Nick Before Christmas is a hopeful romantic comedy with a little bit of Jesus and sweet potato pie and a whole lot of self-discovery. This enchanting narrative is the perfect holiday read to fill your heart with the warmth of Christmas love. And now, back to Chicks on Christmas Flakes. And welcome back to Chicks on Christmas Flicks. In the previous segment, I talked to you about Christmas in July, right? All the great movies that are coming on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So now we're going to start off with Tuesday. So Tuesday is officially July 1st. And I just talked to you about the, Hallmark at Fenway Park. That's going to be Tuesday, all right? But they have got a great lineup for Tuesday. So you have got to watch this. All right. So now I'm not going to talk about the movies that I'm not going to watch. I'm just going to talk about the movies that I am going to watch. So the movies start at 8 a.m. But for me, my movies are going to start at 10 a.m. with Sealed with the List. I love that movie. At noon, Believe in Christmas at 4 p.m. Once Upon a Christmas Miracle. I love that movie. And then A Maple Valley Christmas with Andrew Walker. And then A Norwegian Holiday with Rihanna Fish. Now, we've got a lot of Rihanna and Fish movies, I'm just saying. So, My Norwegian Holiday is the last movie of Tuesday. On Wednesday, we start off the day. This is a great lineup for the whole day. A Christmas to Remember is the first movie, 8 a.m. At 10 a.m. is 'Tis the Season to Be Merry. You know, that's Rachel Lee Cook's movie, right? Then, at noon, we have The Santa Claus with Kimberly Seston and Ben Ayers. Now, this movie and the next two were on my top 15 list for last year. At 4 p.m., we have Holiday Crashers, and at 6 p.m., Santa Tell Me with Aaron Krakow. So I love both of those movies. All three of those movies, like, they're definitely going to be watched, okay? And then we have Christmas Island. I didn't love Christmas Island, right? But I'm probably going to watch it. Andrew Walker and Rachel Scarston. And then Christmas in Rome with Lacey Chabert. Of course, I'm going to have that on. So then, Thursday, we have A Very Merry Bridesmaid at 8 a.m. That's with Emily Osment. You know, she's done a couple of movies for Hallmark that are in the Christmas realm anyway. And so I'll probably watch that. Listen, 10 a.m., Christmas Land. Now, if you've listened to this show for any amount of time, you know I got beef with that movie. Major beef. I'm not going to watch it because I don't want it to tick me off. But that movie, that is the one Christmas movie that really just ticks me off. If you want to know why, gosh, there's probably like 5 episodes where I talk about why I have beef with that movie. And if you don't know what those episodes are, I'll have to go back and look and research them for you. But I have talked about how much that movie angers me, right? It took a long time for me to start liking Nikki DeLoach again because of that movie. Because she acted so well in it, it ticked me off. So anyway, if you like Nikki DeLoach, which most people do, and Luke McFarlane, I think, is in that one, definitely check out Christmas Land. I will not, because I don't want it to tick me off. But at 2 p.m., I will be watching A Very Vermont Christmas. You know, Katie Leclerc plays in that one. I love her. And then check this out. We got the awesome classic at 4 p.m. Christmas with Holly. Classic. That is one of my favorite classic movies of all. I mean, for Hallmark, it's just one of my favorites. Sean Ferris and Eloise Mumford, I love them in that. And then to carry on the Sean Ferris and Eloise Mumford, they're doing A Veterans Christmas at 6 to 6. So back to back, you get both those stars. And I love both those movies. And I love pretty much everything that they've done. Both of them together and separately. So, 8 o'clock, now, you know I have a little beef with this one. This was definitely on my honorable mentions for my top 15 list. But the reason why it was on my honorable mentions and not in my top 15 list is the reason why I have a little beef with it. The Christmas Quest with Christopher Palaha and Lacey Chabert. All I can say is I love that movie all the way up until the end. And you get to the end, they lose me. But everybody doesn't have to feel that way. Everybody probably does not feel that way. A lot of people probably loved it all the way through. Not me. I was not that person. I loved it all the way up until the end. And I do explain in the show where I talk about my top 15 list why I had a problem with the ending. So if you want to know why I had a problem with the ending, you can go back and check out that show. It was just like 2 episodes ago. I want to say it was season 5, episode 13. All right. And then after the Christmas Quest is the Christmas Charade with Rachel Skarsten, who I love, right? So, yeah, that's going to be a good day. At 10 p.m. is Villa Amor. So they're going back to the summer movies Thursday night at 10 p.m. So there you have it. Then Friday, July 4th, which should be a holiday for most people. I am not sure that I'm going to have that holiday off. I may actually have to work that day. But if I do, it'll be in my new office and my new desk. So I'm not going to whine. Anyway, so this is going to be a good day, though. So we're going to start off with Christmas Under Wraps with Candace Cameron Bure. Then we have Right Before Christmas with Tori DeVito and Chad Michael Murray. Then Picture a Perfect Christmas with Merritt Patterson. Then The 9 Lives of Christmas at 4 p.m. The 9 Lives of Christmas. I absolutely love that movie. Then at 6 p.m. you have A Machu Picchu Proposal. So they're going to get that movie in. You're going to watch A Machu Picchu Proposal. Let me tell you something. If you don't watch anything else, you're going to be watching that. And then a holiday touchdown movie is coming on at 8 p.m. You know, A Cheese Story. You know, if you listen to my top 15 list, I think I give the reasons why that didn't make the list. But I know there's a lot of you out there that love it. So there you have it. It's at 8 p.m. Not one of my favorites, though. But the next two are among my favorites. And I believe both of these were on my top 15 list for last year. That's Christmas on Call at 10, and then A Holiday Mismatch at 12 a.m. So that is it for week 1 of Christmas in July. That is going to do it for today. Please stay tuned. Listen, next Friday, for sure, I am going to drop an episode about Christmas in July, week 2, and everything that I'm going to be watching. The show is going to be watching, okay? Next week is going to be pretty big. It's going to be pretty major because they're going to premiere the first Unwrapped movie, Tina's Miracle with Natalie Hall. That one is going to premiere next Saturday. And then next Sunday, they're going to have Holidays. And they're supposed to show Holidays, which I told you guys would have absolutely been my favorite movie of last year if it were an actual movie. And the only reason that it's not my favorite movie is because it wasn't actually a movie. It's a series. So anyway, I'll be back next Friday to talk about all of that and much, much more coming up for next week. If you missed when your favorite movie was coming on, you heard it and you missed it, you can listen again, or you could check out my daily chick picks on Twitter. Okay, Twitter, and I'm going to try and load it up on Instagram, but if I don't have it on Instagram, you will see it on Twitter. Thank you to my music and show editor, Will B. He created all the custom music for this show. He's at Wildcard Music, and you can find his IG page. And you can find his IG page in the show notes below. Until next time, remember, at Chicks on Christmas Flicks, we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. Please don't forget to tell your Christmas movie loving friends about this show. Where can you find us? Let me tell you, I'm so happy you asked. Podcast platforms, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and many, many more. You can find the shows at the link in the link below. You can follow the show on Twitter and IG at Chicks Christmas Flicks. Chicks Christmas Flicks. Chicks X. Flicks X. Okay? Christmas spelled out all the way. Thank you for listening in, and we will see you next week.